Hello and welcome to another edition of Know Your Schools on WISD TV. My name is Dale Caffey. My very special guest today is Larry Hawkins. He is the new principal at the G.L. Wiley Opportunity Center. And Mr. Hawkins, welcome to Waco ISD.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Talk a little bit about your educational background.
Okay, most of my career in public education, which spans about 36 years, has been as a public school superintendent, over 30 years in administration. Once I retired, I did 8.5 years with Texas Youth Commission, now called Texas Juvenile Justice Division. And then this last year, I did a year of high school math teaching.
Wow, so you have a rich background in education. Talk to me about where you were with the Texas Youth Commission.
I was at Mart, Texas.
Okay.
I was a math teacher for the Texas Youth Commission, and I taught in the regular prison system and in security and GED math and a number of things like that.
Talk about your superintendency years.
Superintendency years, I started off at Milford, then I went to Callisburg. I did assistant supes job at Red Oak, and also did finished up my retirement at Maybank in East Texas.
Wow. What would make a retired superintendent want to come back to work? Number one, I mean, back to work at a alternative education program.
Well, I retired early, and I really wasn't ready to quit working. And I looked at my background as both administrative, having a lot of experience in the superintendent business, and then also my experience working with troubled youth in the Texas Youth Commission, and I thought I was a fit for this job with the students at Wiley.
And I guess a follow-up to that, and you partly answered it, but your attraction to Waco ISD.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Very good. What kind of goals do you have for the Wiley Opportunity Center this coming year?
Probably our number one goal is to have a strict learning environment. We want to concentrate on discipline and order in the school, and we're dealing with troubled youth, so I think that's probably the number one way to operate the school, with a lot of discipline and structure.
I know that at the beginning of the year, I guess you have a limited number of young people at the Wiley Opportunity Center, those that are still, I guess, serving their time there from things they did last school year. So you start out with a small number, and you hope that, I guess, ultimately we hope that number stays small, but it grows over the course of the year.
It probably will grow. I think most definitely it will grow. We will start off with probably around 40 students in middle school and about 29 in high school. Normally the elementary students do not come back to us. They get a reprieve. And so we start off with about 80 students, somewhere in that vicinity. And probably after the first month or 6 weeks, our numbers will start increasing.
Right. What is it about working, and you mentioned a little bit of this with working with the Youth Commission, and was it TDC also?
No, it's
Okay.
Texas Youth. It was juvenile,
Okay.
males.
What is it about working with those young people who maybe get into trouble early in their lives that you find satisfaction in as you work with them and try to get them on the right path, I guess?
I would say that it can be a very challenging job working with those youth, but if you can make some connections and if you can work with those kids and get them turned around, it's very satisfying.
Very good. Anything else you want to reflect upon as you come to work for Waco ISD on your career and where you want to take G.L. Wiley?
I would say, if I reflect on Waco ISD, my impression of the district is very strong. We've been to a lot of meetings, a lot of departments have presented and all. Waco ISD has some outstanding employees working for them in their various departments, and I'm very impressed with what I see with Waco ISD.
Very good. And you're really no stranger to Central Texas. You've lived around here for a long time.
Yes, my home, I grew up at Crawford, and I went to Baylor, did a lot of work at Baylor, and of course, as being a school superintendent, I moved around the state, but I've always come back to this area, so Waco is home. I live in Waco now.
Well, I want to say on behalf of the district, it's great having somebody with your experiences at G.L. Wiley. I think the children there are going to benefit from your leadership.
Well, thank you. I hope so.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Again, this is Larry Hawkins. He's the new principal at G.L. Wiley Opportunity Center. And we thank you for watching this edition of Know Your Schools on WISD TV.